Hey guys, welcome back. So let's begin with the next session. So now let's implement the add to cart functionality in this session. And so far we have seen how we can authenticate a user, and we saw how we can get all the products, and even we saw how to load a single product. Now we're going to see how we can add to cart, and we'll create one cart screen, and where what all the products you are going to add it, that is going to be visible into the cart section over there. So let's begin with the coding part of it. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and the previous session, if you wanted to access, you can access from the playlist. I have been given the link in the description below. So now coming back to the code. So now in the product screen, we need to focus on. So here we have the add to cart button. So where we are going to implement the next piece of code over there. So in this first and foremost, I'm just going to create one function. So where we are going to check whether the what are the product count stock is there, right? If it is greater than 0, or whether it is an in stock. In that case, we are going to write one of the code, like we are going to see if the user wants to select the camera for like 1 or 2 camera. If he wants to add it into the cart, he can do that specific count as well. So that is what we are going to implement it. So let's write that piece of code over there right now. Okay, so in this I'm just going to copy it. I'm not going to type this. So here I'm just going to come back in the list item. So I'm just going to paste one piece of code. So here I'm just checking one count in stock. So here you can see, here we have the stock count, right? So I need to use it as a stock count. So I'm going to tell product dot stock count. If it is greater than 0, basically if it is greater than 0, so I'm just going to create one column, that is a quantity, and it is a form control. Basically it is going to be a select drop down. So a default quantity we need to set it. So what is the default quantity? We need to set that specific one. So we're going to set the default quantity over here. So I'm just going to tell here as a const. I'm going to tell as a q2i quantity, and if you want to change the quantity, we can just set the specific quantity. And in this I'm just going to check the default quantity. Basically if the user wants to order it, so I'm just going to make use of the used state over there. So I'm just going to load the use state above use state. Okay, I'm going to tell as a use state of 1. So basically default quantity is going to be the 1 over there. Okay, so it is what we are going to do it. So then, so here if you come over here, so you can see the default quantity is going to be defined as a 1 here. If the changes, there is the quantity is getting changed. Then once it is there, so I wanted to create one array drop down inside, like what is the count of it, how many options should be there. So like 1 2 3 4, how many it should be there. So it's basically how many count stocks. So basically the stock count is having 10, so it should be a 10, it should be visible then, right? So I'm going to use as a spread operator triple dot, and I'm using as an array, and from the product dot stock count. So I'm just going to take this specific stock count. In this I'm just going to apply the keys, and what all the data it is going to render it. So I'm just going to map it, and I'm just going to create one specific action. The default one, it is going to be a x value is going to be a 0. So 0 plus 1, so and the value is going to be 1. So basically if you want to select the one product, he can select, or 2 3, like that it is goes on. So once I save this, if I just come back and see into the specific page, so let's see here what it is going to be there. So you can see here we are getting an error, like the component the form is not defined. So we are going to declare the form over here. So inside the React Bootstrap, I'm just going to implement import the form here. So once I save, so let's come back to the screen. Now it is coming perfect. Okay, so now let's go back to any of the screen. Like if I just open the earbuds, now I can say I was able to see the quantity here. So you can see if I just select here, I can able to see 1 or 2 quantity. Here I am able to see 1 and 2 kind of a thing. So you can see here it is going here. Let's go back, and if I open the camera, if I scroll here, you can see I'm having a 15 quantity over there. So basically in the database we have stored this as a 15. So here also it is just showing like this. If I select 11, it is going to select, and if you want to select as a 15, we can able to select this specific piece of code here as well. Okay, this is all going to do. So but I'm unable to see that drop down figure. So I don't know why. So let's come back here. So you can see I'm not able to see that specific select kind of a drop down logo over here. So for that, what we can do, so I think I have added or not, I don't remember. Let me go to the public file of the public file over here in the src and index.html. So we have added the links, and here we have added the scripts. Okay, so we have added the script, but even though we have added the script, that the things are not coming properly. So let me remove this specific scripts from here and just save that. So once I save, and if I scroll here, now also it is having the same issue. So you can see now the drop downs are, it is not working it basically. So the drop downs are not working. Here it is able to, I can able to click it, but here I can not able to click onto those drop down. So for that I can just go to the getbootstrap.com, and I'm just going to copy those CDN links, or else I'll just go to this React Bootstrap netlify.com, and if I just go to the getting started template here, so here we have some kind of a CDN links, right? So that might help us to get the data. So let me copy this CDN links from here. This is a global CDN links, and let me copy these all these scripts from here. Okay, and apart from that, and if I just scroll down here, we have links, and okay, so let me paste it and we'll check whether this works or not. So let me save this. So once I save, now if I just come back the stuffs, now if I click here, okay, still it is not working it. Okay, so for that I think how to load this is the next question, right? Let me scroll up. So it is telling me provide a React Bootstrap JS min.js and this objects deliver as well with the npm packages. So they are saying in this way. So basically this I think we need to download externally. So for that purpose, let's go to this get bootstrap documentation of it, and here let's load the specific script. Directly let's copy the scripts from here. Okay, so here we have a script file. I'm just going to copy this and Control Z, paste this one. Okay, so once I save this, I hope now it is going to work definitely. So if I just click here, yeah, now it is working over here. You can see if I just click here, it is working. Okay, now if I just come back to this camera screen, here we have still that I want to see that now why it is not loading. We'll see that one. Okay, why it is not coming, but the thing is I am able to see the quantities. Once I select the quantity, and now I should be able to click onto the add to cart. So once I click onto the add to cart, it has to take this camera and it has to take the quantity and what all the price it is there, and it has to take it to the cart page and it has to display it over there. So this is going to be the next step. So let's begin with that specific step now. So now coming back to the code again. So I'm going to go to the product screen. Here we have just added this specific list of items. So now we have a button here, right? So basically add to cart button. So here we need to create, this is going to be disabled if it is a count of stock is not there. So imagine there is a stock count is equals to 0. There is no stock. Then in case he is not going to click onto this specific button. Okay, or else I'm just going to create an on click button over there. Okay, so if it is going to be disabled in this case, so and it is going to be a time. So when the user clicks this, so I'm just going to create one on click method. So in this method, I'm just going to tell here as a add to cart handler. So this is a method I'm just going to create, that is a add to cart handler. So whenever I'm just going to click onto that specific button. Okay, so now I need to write that specific method to it. So this is a method name, so I need to write this method over there. So I'm just going to write this method now. So I'm just going to write it over here. So I'm just going to tell it as a const, that is add to cart handler function. So whenever there is a method, whenever we are just clicking onto it, it has to perform some piece of operation. So in this case, what I'm just going to do here is, so whenever the users is going to click this, right, so I'm just going to make use of the history. Okay, so I'm just going to make use of the history dot push. I'm just going to make use of a push here. So it has to go to this / cart page. It has to take the data and it has to go to the cart page over there here like this. Okay, it has to go to this cart page over there. Okay, so this is what I wanted. So this I'm just going to tell history dot push. So I need to use only push here. History dot push / it has to go to the cart, and along with that it has to take some kind of a parameter. So I'm just going to pass the parameters like what is the data. I'm going to make use of the backticks over there, $symbol. So this I'm just going to pass whatever the match is there, right? So whatever the match, basically whatever the match is here, in the sense like is a ID. So it has to take the product ID. Okay, and along with that question mark, and I wanted to pass the quantity as well. So I'm just going to pass the quantity is equals to QTV. So I'm just going to pass as a quantity, and it also should takes the what is the quantity I'm passing. So basically if I'm just passing the QTY, so that is going to be here, that is going to be passed over here. Okay, so this is what it is going to do. So now it is giving one error. So what is that error? Unexpected use of history. It is giving the unexpected use of this specific history over here. It is unable to find what is this specific history, right? So now what I can do here is let's make use of the location concept over there. Okay, so it is a old one, so let's make use of the location over there, right? So I'm just going to use here, I'm going to import one of the specific thing, that is use navigate over there. So I'm just going to make use of the use navigate function. So once I click onto here, so yeah, it is loaded. So you can see I'm going to use the use navigate, and I'm just going to make use of the use location as well. Okay, so I'm just going to make use of the use use specific location, sorry, use navigation, use location. Okay, LOCATION, location over there. So once I use this, I use navigate and use specific location from the React router DOM. So I'm just going to navigate the things over here. So I'm just going to make use of the navigate. So I'm just going to create one variable that is a const navigate. So it is going to make use of the navigate. It is going to make use of the use navigate function over here. Okay. So in this use navigate function, now I'm just going to make use of this specific location as well. So in this, I'm just going to make it a const location. Const location is equals to use location over there. Okay, so I'm just going to make use of the use location over there. So I've defined these two specific variables. I'm just going to make use of navigation, and I can make use of the location as well. Okay, so I'm just going to use here as, rather than using a history dot push something, I'm just going to make use of the navigate over there. Okay, so I'm just going to make use of a navigate, navigate, navigate to this specific location. So once I save, so now you can see there is no bug. So now let me take this product quantity. If I 6 and if I click onto here, you can see it is taking cart slash food quantity is equals to 6. So it is taking the product ID, and whatever the quantity I have selected, this things is going to basically it is taking this data and it is going to this specific screen over there. Okay, so it is what I wanted it. So this is done. So now let's create this specific method. Now how we need to add data specific data over there. Okay, so that is what the things we need to do. So now let's go back here. So again, it is going to the where, it is going to the card screen or what, where it is giving. So basically I need to handle this as well, right? So basically whenever we are passing, whenever it passes this data only in this way. So you can see if I just go to this add to cart, it is going to the slash cart, quantity is 1. So if I just go to the slash cart, it is going to the cart screen. So I need to handle like when I'm passing this like quantity, when I'm taking the quantity 5, so at that time how it is going to handle. So this is all the things we need to handle it. So now I'm just going to come back to the cart screen over there. So how we are having like params, we have passing rate params, right? So when in this passing params, I can iterate this specific data as well. Okay, so in the parameters I can access all the parameters I'm passing it. Basically I'm going to pass the ID and I'm going to match the location and what is the history is there. So this is basically these things I'm just going to edit it. I'm going to come back to the cart screen over there. So in the cart screen, I'm just going to import a few of the components. So we have a React. So I'm just going to make use of the use effect over here. So I'm just going to make use of the use effect hooks. So just load this one. So along this one, I wanted to load this specific link also. I'm going to copy this. Basically, I don't want to type in. I'm just going to copy this specific methodologies. So along with that, I need to use these row columns container stuffs. I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to make use of this specific component. And apart from that, I want a message to be there and a loader to be there. Okay. I'm going to use this specific loader and the message over there. Okay, this is what I wanted. So this is, I'm just going to save this one. Okay, so now once I save, now I wanted to load this kind of data. So basically I'm going to get some kind of an information over here. So basically imagine I'm just going to get the match and I wanted to load the specific location from there, and I wanted to load the history. So this is all the 1, 2, 3 data I wanted to load from the specific container. Okay, so let's see how that is going to be there. Okay, so once I just pass this, now if I just try to add some variable, like, so first I need to add the specific per ID. So I wanted to get the specific ID. So I'm just going to tell here as from the first I need to get the product ID. From the specific match I wanted to use the params.id. This way I'm able to get it, the specific ID over there. So once I done, so then I need to get what is the specific quantity. What is the specific quantity I need to get it. To get the quantity, I am just going to write like the quantity is equal. So basically from the location dot search, so I'm just going to split this one. So you can see I'm just able to split with the equal operator. Here you can see with the equal operator, I'm just going to make use of the split method, and in the equal, I'm just going to iterate the specific the index variable 1. And when I use that, basically whatever the quantity is, so whatever the quantity, whether the 5, 10, 16, whatever it is, that specific number I'm just going to iterate with the help of this, and I'm going to convert that with the number over there. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do it. So once I do, so let me able to console.log, so I can able to get the quantity or not. So I'm going to do console.log. There is basically a data is going to be a, so I'm going to iterate the product ID, and I wanted to iterate the specific QTY quantity over there. So once I save this, so let's see, we have an error now. So I have uncontrolled with the error. We're saying as a match is not defined over there. So basically to this specific match, I am not able to iterate it. So I am going to make use of the params over here. Okay. So this is params. I can make use of this specific params. So with the help of this, I can able to iterate the stocks specific things. So in this, I'm just going to come back to the card screen. So I'm just going to make use of the params over there. Okay, then how we have done in the previously. And in that case, you can see here we are using the specific id is equals to use param. So in this case, I can iterate the id. So in this case, I'm going to, rather than in this way, so I'm just going to write this one, const id is equals to use id. So this is id is going to be there. So this time I'm just going to control D. Yeah, I'm going to pass this specific id over there. Okay, so I'm just going to pass this specific id, that is going to be a product id. Okay, so once I save, now you can see it has been coming as expected. So once I do, so if I refresh this specific page, now I should be able to see the output into the console. So right click and inspect in the console. Okay, let me go to this one, and if I just go to the card, so now I'm able to not able to saying as a search is not defined. I'm unable to go to that. I cannot read the properties of undefined. It's telling as a search over there. Okay, so that is one of the issue now. So now I want to go in this. So here is the error we have encountered. So what we'll do, we are just going to go back to a normal screen now. Okay, now I'm just going to select the product again and select the quantity as 11 and click onto the add to cart. So when I go to the add to cart, basically it's not going, it is not taking that screen here. So it is not taking this screen because I am not passing in the app.js. I need to add some one of the piece of code here. In the add to cart, you can see here I'm entering here as a cart, it's fine, but I need to pass the ID data also, right? So I'm just going to pass the data as a ID here. So I'm going to mention here as a ID and a question mark over here. Okay, just save this one. So now it should work as expected. So now we have done here. Now coming back to here, now can see now it is going, but the error is fine. We'll encounter the error. So it is telling me cannot read the properties of search over undefined of a search over there, right? So now let's come back to the card screen. So here it is a search here. This is basically a location dot search is giving an error here. So here how can I iterate this one? So let me do one thing. Let me comment out this and just load the whether the quantity or I'm able to get or not. Let's see that. So once I save this, now I am getting as a QTY is not defined here. So basically okay, I need to get the quantity as well, right? So let's see how I can get it. So now we are iterating to the params here. Okay guys, so here you can see I have debugged it. So basically I'm going to use the latest one. So we are using params ID we are accessing and using a use navigate thing. I can now use the navigate rather than the location, and so sorry, rather than the history. So for the location we can access this location directly by the use location here. Now once I show you this specific part, so now we have if I just go back to the console, we can able to see this data whatever we wanted to access, the history and the things we can see here. I can able to see. Let me reload this page again. So once I reload this, I can able to see the match is going to be 1 and the specific the location is a card/1 is taking it, and the history is taking as a 2 over there. Basically it is taking all the data as expected, right? So now let me go back here and add quantity like 7 and add to card. So now once I just go back to the inspect, so now I should be able to see the correct data. So you can see here match is 3 here, the basically a product ID. The location card is /card/treat is taking, and history is taking as a 2 over there. I wanted to access this specific kind of a location. Basically I wanted to access the quantity part. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to paste that code here. So now this is what just for the understanding purpose. What I'm going to do here again. So let me remove this part, paste it now. So in this I wanted to access the product ID. So I'm just going to pass the from the location ID whatever I'm having here. So now I wanted to search this navigate, right? So now we are using a navigate here. So from this specific navigate dot search, I'm accessing this specific quantity. Okay, so these are two things I am going to access it. So that is what we wanted it. So I hope this is done. So let me console dot and let's see what the thing is going on. Console dot log, and if I just access the specific product ID, and if I wanted to access this specific how much is the quantity. So the two important thing I wanted to get from the data. So now I can see the quantity is so I'm getting as a 3 and 1 over here. So you can see here the product ID is 3 and the quantity I'm able to see it as a 1 over there. So if I think the one I'm getting it, let me go back to here. So again, so let me over here and select this and add to cart. Now you can see 4-1 I'm able to get it. Okay, so the things is getting fine now. So now these are two data I'm getting, the quantity and the specific search over there. So this is one of the thing I'm able to see it now. Now I wanted to create some constants for the product to load that to store the information. So in the action I'm just going to create the file that is a cart cart action card actions dot js file. Okay, so this is going to be action file, and in the constant also I need to create some one of the file, that is I'm going to tell as a cart constants dot js file. So in the cart constant dot js file, so I'm just going to add two specific component, that is going to be a add to cart and a remove cart. So card add item and a card remove item. So the two specific component I am adding it. And once it is done, in the reducers also I need to create it cart reducers over there. So I'm going to create it as a cart reducers reducers dot js file. So in the cart reducers dot js file, so I need to add it where we are going to store all the current state and all those data, right? In the cart reducers, I'm just going to add the code over there. So what is going to be the code? In this first I'm going to iterate this card item and all. So I'm going to create one method, so where the initial state is the card item, so is going to be an empty, and based on action the card item has to get switched, right? So in the switch applying here, so and we added the case, so whenever we are add to card, at this time it has to take the items and add those specific thing into the existing items. Okay, so and it is has to return that specific state. So if it not, whatever the current state is going to be there, that is going to be there. And whenever I'm removing the card, so basically it has to filter out, and with the whatever the payload data whenever I'm using, that has to be there, right? So it is going to be the same thing. So I'm just going to save this specific card component, and in the card actions, so now I need to create the actions file, right? The card actions, we need to apply the another thing, like what is the action is going to happen. So in this case as well, so in this case whenever we are using an card to add and Axios, we are using it whenever we are add to cart, whenever we are adding the item into the cart, it takes the id and the quantity, and we are going to hit that data to n slash id. So we are hitting this specific api slash product and whatever the id is there, and whenever we dispatch this, we'll get the information. Basically we are going to get the information as a payload and the id, name, image, price, and what is the count, whatever the stock count. Okay, this is going to be a stock count in stock count, count stock count, name, price, and image. So I was going to take it and we are going to pass the quantity of it. Okay, this is all the things, and we are going to store set the data into the local storage, and whenever we are removing, we are going to just remove the data from the local storage over there. Okay, so this is what it's going to do. So let me save this. So once I save, coming back to our cart screen, in the cart screen we need to add some kind of a code now. So in this add screen, so I'm going to remove these consoles. So we are having a product id and all those data, right? So next thing, so I need to create one first I need to import this add to cart and specific remove cart from the stuff. So I'm going to tell here as add to cart. So I'm just going to import this add to cart, and along with that I need to import the remove from the cart module from here. Okay, so I'm just imported these two things. So once I need to import this from the redux, I need to import the use dispatch and the use selector, I need to import it. So these are two things. So I think all things are good. Okay, so now I'm just going to create it two more functions over here. So I'm not going to type in, I'm just going to paste it, and we'll see the things in the debugging part. So once I format the document, I'm running a use effect. Whenever the state change, I need to edit the product id, and I need to dispatch that thing into the with the whatever the quantity is there, and product id is there. I'm just going to dispatch to the add to cart method. So that is coming into our actions. Then once it is done, we will get the information, that product id and quantity. So whenever I'm removing the cart, same thing, I'm just sending those data to the remove cart handler by adding a remove cart remove from cart handler function. So where it is going to call the remove from the cart, is going to the actions, and it is going to perform the operation. Okay, and whenever we are pushing it, it just came not a history, so we need to use the navigate here, right? In navigate, I'm just going to use these two stuffs from here. Come back to your cart screen and add that specific data here. So okay, we are already having, right, navigate and location. So we are going to use here as location dot so I'm going to just navigate here. Okay, I'm going to use it as a navigate. So it has to navigate and goes to this. If we not login, it is going to redirect to the specific, if it is login slash, it has to go to this specific redirect to the shipping page something. Okay, so we'll see that later. We have not created a page right now, so we'll see that. Okay, and this is what the thing is going to be there. So now I need to return this div, right? So we are returning one div. So right now I wanted to return the information, so I'm going to tell here as a, so I wanted to return the specific div tag, or let me use like this. Okay, so in this case I'm just going to first use the row over here. So I'm just going to write the row. So I'm just going to make use of the row here. Okay, so inside a row I'm just going to use the call of medium size over there. So I'm the call of medium size. So in the call of md8 here, in this I'm just going to use of an h1 tag. I'm just going to tell here as cart items. Okay, as an h1 tag. So this case I'm just going to close this specific call. Okay, so once in the call, so I'm just going to check if the cart items length is equals to 0. So I'm just going to tell there is no items into the cart, so you can just go back over there. Okay, so in that case I'm just going to make use of it, or else whatever the product data is there, I'm just going to display those product data. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to copy this information and I'm just going to just paste it over here. So in this case I'm just going to remove this. So okay, so now it is fine. Okay, so in this I have added one thing, the code. So the code what says, let's see. So basically if the card is empty, it is going to be a go back link, and if the card has an data cart item, so it's basically it loads the product image, and if he wants to go to the image, he can just take the product image, product name, and the product price. So just displaying this in the form of a table, and along with that whatever the quantity they have selected, like basically they have selected 2 or 3 quantity, so they can able to even change from here as well. So that functionality we have provided here, and related to the options we want to display, so that things is here. Okay, so let's save this. So let's see what all the errors we are having. So we are having one error here. What is the error we are having? We are having an error by saying let me refresh. So it's telling the dispatch is not defined, cart item is not defined. Okay, so dispatch is not defined and the cart item is not defined over here. So let use that thing. So we are going to add those things. So we are having a use of it, right? So we have added. Okay, we need to add that cart item so be there. So basically the cart is going to come from where? It is going to come from the Redux part, that is from the use selector. We need to use it. So I'm going to import these things over here. So there is a cart, const cart, use selector, state.cart, and the cart items. I'm going to load this specific all the carts from over here. Okay, so dispatch is going to be come over here. So when we need to use dispatch, I have not created, so I need to dispatch that thing. So I'm just going to tell it as a out of the quantity. So I wanted to initialize the use dispatch over there. Once I save this, first come back over here now. So now it is telling cannot destructive property cart items of a cart. It is undefined. So it's telling me in this way. So let me come back to the Redux part over here. Okay, so in this Redux we are not able to see that specific, right? We have not initialized the things into the Redux part. So I'm going to go to the store.js here. So in the store I'm just going to import that specific cart reducers here. So I'm just going to mention here as a cart reducers. So once I import this specific cart reducer, so I'm going to initialize the cart over here. Okay, so you need to get this cart information from the cart reducers. Okay, that is what it is going to be there. So along with that, I wanted to make use of the local storages part. So I'm just going to tell here as a, so in the cart items from the storage, so from the local storage I wanted to get the data, that is the cart items. I need to just store it here and just parse that thing to there. Okay, so it is what I'm going to use it. So in the initialized state, whenever the initialization state is happened, rather than passing the empty one, so I'm just going to pass the cart data. So that is going to be the cart items. It is going to be a cart items over there. Items, sorry, EMS items as cart item storages. Whatever we are having a cart item from the storage, whatever is there, I'm just going to pass it over there. Okay, so it's what we are going to do. So, and let me save this. Once I save, let's see now what is the error. So now we are having a single error. So it's telling me here as request fails to this local storage. So in this case now the request failed with the status code thing. So let me go here. So it is going to the Axios error. So saying as an Axios error over here, request with the fail. This part is telling. So basically I think the URL whichever I'm passing, that is an wrong URL. So it is going to be a 404 error. So the header part I'm just passing as a product/4, right? http//localhost API. Okay, so in this case it is passing in this way. So I have removed the proxy or anything else, the error. So I hope the proxy has been not removed, because we have just created the proxy, we have added it, so that is why we have it is there, not an issue. So now let's see what is an issue over here. So let me come back to the backend URL here. We have a product slash primary key, so where we get the data and we'll get back to that. So we have a product here, right? Not the product, we have a product here. So that is the one issue. So let me go to the cart actions. So here we have created as a products here, so we need to go to the product/id. So now the things is going to be there. Wow, perfectly, yes, it's coming, right? So now you can see I was able to see the image where we are having a price here, and you can see over here. So we have a delete item here. So if I just delete it, it is just going to delete that. Go back to this. You can see it is telling me that your card is an empty over there. So that's great. That's great. So now what I'll do here is I'm just going to come back to your card screen, and I'm going to pack everything into the container here. So I have used the container. Yes, I have used the container. Oh, I'm going to pack everything with the container now. So if it is back, so I'm going to use it here. I'm going to tell here as, so whenever it is there, I'm going to pack this thing in the container. Okay, so I'm going to cut this container over here, and so I'm going to close the container with the list of group is starts here, and if I scroll down, so list of group is ends here, so I'm just going to paste it over there. Okay, so now it is going to be in the container, everything. That's great. Now let's come back to the home page. Now I'm just going to this camera. I wanted to add this camera. I'm just going to, you can see I can able to see this, and I'll just go back again, and I wanted these earbuds. I'm going to select the quantity too. Once I enter, you can see the earbuds is coming. And again, if I just go back here into the shoes, so I wanted to add these shoes. So you can see I was able to add this data. So it is price, you are able to see the whatever the data. So the quantities, I am not able to set the quantities here. So I'm not able to see, I'm not able to pass the quantities, taking as a 1 itself. But even though I'm passing as a 2, so that's taking as a 1. So that is the one of the issue now. So still I can able to see it is not coming these things inside the container. So for that, what I can do here is, so here is a cart length, cart items, right? So here only I'm going to just pass this data into the container. The entire card items, I'm just going to pass it into the container. Okay, so this is going to be, just pass it down. Okay, so once I store now, okay, so where it is, so I have added the container about the, so inside the call it, right? So let me put it outside. Okay, so now it has to come. Okay, so still I am not able to see the correct way. So the card item is there, right? So I wanted to give, I don't know why this is not coming it. Okay, so let me put inside this container in the call inside, and this also I'm just going to put it inside it over there. Okay, so once I save this, so now, yeah, now it is fine. Okay, now it has been coming properly. So you can see we are able to see the card item. So now I can able to have a data, and I can just click onto this I can delete it. So you can see I'm getting as your card is empty. I can just go back now. Wanted to add these earbuds, I can just add to cart. Now the things are coming perfectly. If I right click and inspect the element tool, and if you just see into the storages over there, so you can see we are using the applications, that is a storage, that is a local storages we are using it. You can see in this we are able to see it. Okay, when I delete it here, you can see that things will delete from here. Okay, so from where it is showing, just making use of this container. Okay, so now if I just add to cart, I can see the data is going to add it over there. Okay, in this way the things is getting added. Okay, so now the things are coming as expected. Now I want another thing that which is not coming properly. Let's see what all the things we are loading first. Okay, so here we can see we are using a product name is a image and a name. So if I just tell here the product image is coming, but the name is not able to come. So what is the name we have given here? So let me check what the name we have created in the product. So we are given as a product name, right? So that is why it is not coming. So we need to use it as a product name here. So let's come back to the card screen. I'm just going to mention the product name over here. Okay, now you can able to see the product name here. So if I just go back and select add to cart, okay, still I'm not able to see that product name. Okay, here I have given, and here I need to give it here. Okay, this is editing, the name is there in the alt page. Okay, so somewhere is there, right? It is a product, it is a link. Okay, that's pass the product name over here. Let me save here, Now if I scroll again, if I click onto the add to cart, okay, it is not coming. So where is the price? Basically its price is here, so the link is here, so where we are using product slash item, so it has to give the product name, so it is not giving us. So what is the issue? That is the one thing. Let's check it. So in this payload, let's see on the payload what we are able to see. Okay, we'll just come back to the network here. So now I'll just go back to these applications. Here we are passing product, image, price and a quantity. So we are not passing the product name here. So you can see here we are just passing the product and image and the price here, and the quantity we are passing. The image that in the payload we are not having an image, the name over there, right? So for that case, let's go to the cart action over here. So you can see we are using a data dot name. In the place of a data dot name we are using, you need to use it as a data dot product name over here. So in this case, now the thing should come, and once I just save it now, so now in the name, now you can able to see the name is coming now. You can see name is getting as a camera and all the things is coming now. So let me refresh now. Okay, the name is not coming. So let's see what is the issue. Okay, so here we are just passing as a product name. So this also I'll iterate it to the product name, just save it. Let's come back to the cart screen here. So we are using a product name here, product name, all the things is there. That's great. Now if I just come back to the Chrome, so yeah, now it is able to see, right? The things is coming now. Okay, that's fine. Let's go back again. Now let's add another, let's add to this card. You can see earbuds I can able to see. And if I just go back to the again, if I want to add this one, so I'm going to add to cart, the things are coming fine. Okay, that's great. So now I can able to select the quantity. So here also I am not able to change the quantities, but this, let's see what is the issue here is going on. Now if I scroll a little bit down here, count in stock I have given. I need to just make use of the stock count here, not count in stock. That is a stock count count. Let's copy this, and if I scroll down, now as I save this, now I can able to see maybe. Let's go back again. Okay, so now if I just go back here, add to cart. Okay, so still it is not able to load. So what is the stock count or what we have given? That let's check it into the product screen. We have created as a stock count, right? Small letter, not the capital one. Okay, so this is the one thing I have created. So let me use the same name, that is a stock count. And even here also stock count, there is another place we have changed it. Okay, I think only a single place. Now the things should come. Oh, no, okay. I think initially it is just taking a single one. So now let's go to the cart. Let's delete all the items, and I think we have this. We have a quantity 8. Save it. Okay, I think the thing is like basically it is not passing it. So now let's see how we can just debug that part. So whenever I'm selecting as 8, it is coming as a 1. So this is a one bug here. Let's debug that. So yeah guys, so हमने यहाँ पे कुछ modification किया है, जैसे कि let's see, like I can say here what I did. I was using here as navigate, so that's I need to use it as a location. So in this location when I use, so that's in that case I can able to get the correct data from the search part. I will be getting as a quantity as a 4. So let me comment out this console.log. And after that what I did, so whenever it was going to the add to cart, here one was the issue. So here it was a count stock, so we need to use it as a stock count. So the variable name I have just changed it, and the product name is getting passed, and all the things is getting passed along with the quantity. So that's the data. It is going to store it into the local storage. Okay, so whenever I am removing, that things going to get updated over there. Okay, so once I do that, and if I come back to the cart screen, and then this next part I just change it here as, so here also I just change the call MD to 1 to just reduce the padding. And in this case now we are using as a stock count. Now the things should come expected. So let's see. So I can say I was able to see it. Let's go back to the screen. I'm going to add this camera. I wanted to add it here as a 9. So once I add, you can say I was able to see the 9. Even I can able to just change the specific quantity here as well. Okay, so this is also one of the functionality we can provide it. Okay, so then I'm just going to come back to the card, and if I just go here, I want to add these earbuds. I'm just going to add it here as a 2. So once I add it here as a 2, so I can able to see I have added it. So only I can add the 2 quantity, whatever it is there, right? So it is what I can do it. And if I wanted to add these specific shoes, so I wanted to add this 5. Once I enter it 5, you can say I was able to add it here. So now once I added quantify and 9, so you can see now it is not changing the price here. So you can able to see the dollar is it's giving is the actual price. Okay, so let's come back to here. Now you can see here we have a 2060,000 rupees 26 here. It is a 2600 rupees. So if I add it as a 7, it is the same thing. Okay, here it is showing as a dollar, so I wanted to just rename it to rupees here. So let me rename it to rupees here. So where is that dollar? If I just control F, dollar is here. We're going to make it as a rupees over there. Okay, just save it. So once I save, we can see able to see the rupees over there. So this is how the add to cart functionality works. So let me log in it now. If we log in it anws@gmail.com and anws. So once I log in, I've been logged in. So if I just come back to the card screen, so now if I see here, so this is all the card data. So basically it is going to be a different for different one, depend upon their whatever the local storages data has been stored over there. Okay, so that's all for this session, guys. So in the next session we are going to discuss about the registration. Like once he wants to do the final order, he should be able to fill out his details, and once he submits, then we are going to integrate the payment integration for this part. Okay, take care, bye bye.